Over 20 years ago, we got the origin story to how the beloved Team Rocket trio got together. Well, sort of. You see, this episode is an episode from the side series Pokemon Chronicles, which is actually one of my favorite series in all of the Pokemon franchise. In this series, we get the spotlight away from Ash and instead focus on other trainers doing various things. In this episode, we get to see Jessie, James, and Meowth, as well as Brad and Cassidy doing their thing in the Team Rocket Academy. This episode actually has a bunch of inconsistencies that were told in the original series, but I'll point them out when they happen. Also, this series aired after the Johto saga, but before the Hoenn saga technically, so that's the timeline of this thing, but this episode specifically is a flashback episode, so it kinda doesn't really matter. Today's episode is titled Training Days, and it released in Japan on September 30th, 2003, but it wouldn't release in the West until almost 3 years later on August 19th, 2006. The episode begins with the trio blasting off in the air, defying the laws of gravity as James points out how many times they've done this. Jessie then tells him to get the flotation device out as James rummages through his pockets, and you won't believe it, but a subscribe button flies out of his pocket. I guess that just means that James wants you to subscribe. 96% of you aren't real Pokemon fans, and it shows, so prove him wrong. A bunch of his favorite bottle caps are flying out. A golden bottle cap with an R is stuck on Meowth's face, and James pulls it off and drops the episode title.
From our training days, I kept it as a souvenir.
We then get a flashback as we see Jessie pulling off some James Bond or Mission Impossible stunt by roping down to an Articuno statue. Yes, it's not real. We can see that Jessie's paired with some random dude in a Mankey, and they're struggling to help her up. They drop her and she drops the Articuno statue, breaking it and causing the alarms to go off. Jessie ditches the dude who wants to be a team with her, and he just gets permanently fainted off screen. This guy, whose name is Drill Sergeant Viper, total badass name, tells Jessie that this is the 10th member that she has lost, but Jessie says that he just wasn't good enough. He then reports to Giovanni about some upcoming recruits, a team led by Cassidy that is doing some great teamwork with their partner Bob, which is more they can say about Jessie. We see Giovanni's petting his Persian, which leads us to our first inconsistency. In Battle Aboard the St. Anne, which is one of the best episodes, Meowth was horrified when Giovanni was petting Persian because he claimed that he was Giovanni's lap cap before teaming up with Jessie and James. So, he was basically just capping. Viper states that Jessie's actually one of the best recruits ability-wise, but she has just got a problem working as a team. Giovanni decides to give her one final chance, but that's it. Right on cue, Meowth walks in and says that his lifelong dream is to be a Team Rocket field agent, and he asks Giovanni to give him a chance. We then see an early rivalry between Cassidy and Jessie, who's rocking no lipstick as they race each other on a treadmill. That's actually another inconsistency, as in Bob and Cassidy's first appearance in the anime, the Team Rocket trio claim that they've never seen them before. Capping once again. They then go to the locker room where they have some normal locker room trash talk, and Cassidy basically tells her that no partner wants to work with her. And she then tells Biff to get ready.
Ready to jet, Biff?
The name's Butch, not Biff.
Meowth is seen scarfing down some food, and we can see that the early rivalry between him and Persian is starting to blossom as well, as Persian is having none of it. Jessie is staring off, pondering on life, when Viper shows up to inform her that they found her a new partner, James. And my boy James is posted with one leg on the wall looking cool as hell. James gets told by Jessie that he better be good because she just want to carry him, and he drops one of the bangerest quotes of all time.
No one's carried me since my mama.
But let me tell you, this gives us yet another inconsistency. Early on in the original series, on 2 separate occasions, they said that they were friends long before joining Team Rocket. But once again, we get proven that that's cap. Their training begins, and it's just a bunch of random obstacles that they have to get over, which they end up doing with relative ease. Cut back to Meowth, and Giovanni's already fed up with him as he does his best job to bring the boss a cup of coffee, which isn't going very well to say the least. Viper introduces Jessie and James to Meowth, and they're the only 2 people who seem to be surprised that Meowth can talk. I guess the rest of Team Rocket doesn't seem to care. That, or they treat him like a fellow human being. Kind of nice if you think about it. The Team Rocket agents are then ready for the next mission, which is to reach a point within 24 hours while only having a single bottle of water and a loaf of bread each. The mission hasn't even started yet, and Meowth already scarfs down his bread and downs his water. As they're traversing over water, James notices that Meowth is scared of the water, and he shows us his wholesome side already by carrying Meowth on his head. James, you're one of the good ones. They then start climbing the walls, which Jessie and James are doing no problem, but Meowth is having difficulties. Meowth states that he's hungry and doesn't have the power to climb, so James offers him his bread and water, but asks to keep the bottle cap. Yep, that's the same one from earlier. Jessie notices this kind act, and that night by the campfire, she decides to split her bread 3 ways, sharing it with her team. Perhaps a sign that she's growing fond of these 2 and finally found a team to call her own. At first, James doesn't want the bread, but Jessie makes sure that her partner is fed, and honestly, it was super heartwarming. During the night with both of them unable to sleep, James tells Jessie that he really thinks that if they stick together, that they can be the greatest team in Team Rocket history, and exclaims that no matter what happens, he's gonna stick by her side. They see the finish line on the other side of a shabby bridge, but of course, Meowth doesn't want to cross it because he's scared. Now with the team in mind, James calms Meowth down and tells him that as a team, they need to be there for one another even when you're afraid, and man, that's actually just some really good advice. Jessie then shows off her affection by reassuring Meowth that she'll go first to see if it's safe. She makes it across and tells James and Meowth to go next. James has Meowth go on his head, and it's their turn. The rope snaps as James tosses Meowth to Jessie, and he's hanging off the edge of the cliff holding onto Meowth's tail. Jessie, growing fond of James, tells him to not even think of letting go, but he sees the pain that Meowth is in, and he does another badass move.
I'm sorry, Jessie.
No, James, no!
We then cut to the hospital and he's completely covered in bandages like a mummy, but his hair is still perfectly intact. Thank God. It's time for the final test, a real break-in, and we see the only agents that made it here are Jessie, Cassidy, and Bum. Their mission is to enter this building's penthouse and retrieve the legendary red Snorlax that's locked in the cage before midnight. Chuck asks what if they get caught, to which Viper says that if they get caught then they're arrested and they won't pass their final exam. I can't decide which one is worse. What do you think? The heist begins and they scale the side of the building, and I just love Cassidy's Raticate doing its best. Good boy. Jessie is saddened and walks away whining that she's always alone, when James posts on a tree delivers yet another badass quote.
I thought you hated whining.
James reveals that he's ready to boogie now and it's time to become field agents. Man, he's just so freaking cool in this episode. We then get a cool montage of the Team Rocket agents breaking into the tower, with Prepare for Trouble playing in the soundtrack, and man, this scene is so cool. I wish I could play it, but you seriously gotta watch it for yourself, trust me. After many obstacles, both teams make it to the room with the red Snorlax at the same time, but the time is starting to run out. Cassidy then finally calls Boink by his real name, so now he's happy.
Let's do it, Butch!
It's Butch, not! Oh, that's what you said!
As they run towards the red Snorlax, Doctor Strange opens a portal underneath them and they are never to be seen again. James and Meowth then rush in, but this time it's Wong that opens up a portal underneath them. Meowth manages to hold onto the edge, and once again James is holding onto his tail for dear life. As he's about to fall, Jessie grabs Meowth, but then the alarm starts ringing. James decides to let go again, but this time Meowth and Jessie are able to grab him, signaling their bond is too strong to break this time. Jessie reminds James of his promise of them being the best team in history, and then manages to pull him to safety. He lands on top of her and then they start heavily panting on top of each other. Is this the right Pokemon episode? They manage to get the stuff on the cage and bring it into the air as time runs up, and Snorlax turns off the alarm clock. It turns out that the red Snorlax was just Viper in disguise. Back at the HQ, we see that Blipbug suffered the same fate that bestowed James earlier, his hair perfectly okay as well. And look at Raticate, he's so cute. Despite not being able to complete the mission, due to their efforts in almost completing an almost impossible task, Jessie, James, and Meowth are rewarded with agent status. The blue team gets to be VITs, or Villains in Training, so I guess that's one step under agent status, who really knows. But both teams are happy with the results, as they should be. We come back to them in their blast off, and they exclaim that even though it hasn't worked out yet, it's bound to work out someday. What did you think of this episode? I truly think this is one of the best episodes in the Pokemon anime, especially for one that doesn't feature a single Pokemon battle. Hell, it barely even features attacks, unless you count this flamethrower from Growlithe and Arcanine. Truly a great backstory, and a very fun episode to rewatch and recap today. But what about you? Did you enjoy it? Have you ever seen it before? Let me know in the comments below. But before I go blasting off again, it's been your boy Luap, and I'm out. Peace.